Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You're welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, sometimes we wait to get the speaker online before we go online, because in the past sometimes we will go online and they will discover the speaker is not coming. So and by that time we're already live. So that's why these days we wait for the speaker to come before we go online. Sorry for the delay.
It's okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. You're welcome.
Hare Krishna. Agyanatiminda Gana Gana Salakaya Chaksumitan Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chitamano Vistan Stapita Yena Bhutale Sanyarupa Kadama Yandadati Swampadantikan Vandehan Sri Guru Sutan Parakamalan Sri Guru Vaishnav Sri Rupan Sakjatan Sahagana Raghunatha Vitantan Sajivan Sadvetan Swadhutan Parajana Satan Sri Krishna Jita Devan Gurave Gurachandaya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishna Ya Krishna Bhaktaya Tabhaktaya Namo Namaha Vede Ramani Chaiva Purane Bharati Tata Hado Adhyam Chamadhecha Adi Sabhata Giyate Mokam Karatiba Chalam Prangu Langarati Gri Ya Kripataham Bande Sri Guru Dinatarine Paramananda Madhava Dharma Prajita Katabota Paramoni Masham Satan Vedan Vastavam Atavasam Tapata Trayamolinim Sima Bhagavati Mahamani Kitiki Vai Paraishvara Sadhuridi Agarudi Jita Katipita Krishanan Nigama Kapatali Kalitan Falan Suka Mukan Rasambitan Hibatan Bhagavatam Rasam Ralaya Mohura Rasika Bhavi Bhavaka Atayam Purama Sultanam Bharatata Vininaya Gayati Basha Ruposo Berata Prabhimita Sababiditi Ashanam Saram Saram Paribimita Sababidantam Saram Hisi Bhagavatam Mishate Tarasamita Shya Tiptasya Najata Sharati Kati Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. By the way, I was giving the text of 2:1.
The wrong, yes, it's a mistake.
Okay. So 2:139 I was given. So I welcome everyone for being here. This evening my time, I'm sure it's after, some of you afternoon, some of you morning time, according to your particular, what part of the planet you're in. So I welcome everyone, and I'm speaking from Vrindavan here, from Sri Vrindavan Dham. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. And because nowadays, Vrindavan has become, we are having a lot of pilgrimages, as much before than ever before. So practically every day, not just week, every day, Vrindavan is full of people every day. So now we discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, Text 39. This is the last text of the first chapter of the second canto, with the title being the first step in God realization. Is it? I think what's the title? The Lord in the Heart. What's the title of this chapter?
First step in God realization. Yeah, you got that right.
Okay, so first step in God realization. Okay. So this is the title by which Sukadeva Goswami instructing Parikshit Maharaj, who had asked the question about what should one do if one is about to leave this material world. What should be the prime occupation of every person who's about to leave this material world. So Sukadeva Goswami had replied that yes, the prime occupation should be to hear about the glories of the Lord, to hear about the Lord, to chant his name, and of course, to remember. Actually, by hearing and chanting, remembrance comes in also. Remembrance becomes automatic. By hearing and chanting, remembrance becomes. There was a discussion in the BHAGAVATAM meter, whereby when Gopal Kumar, anyway, let me read the text first, and then I get into that. So the text is 2:139. Sa Saba di Britiano Buta Saba, Atma Yata Swapna Janekshitai Kaha, Tam Sachan Ananda Nidim Bhajata, Nanyata Saje Yata Atma Pata. Sa, he, the Supreme Person, Sa, he, the Supreme Person, Sabadi Briti, the process of realization by all sorts of intelligence, Anubhuta, cognizant, Savi, everyone, Atma, the super soul, Yata, as much as, Sapna Jana, a person dreaming, a dreaming person, Ikshita, seen by, a car, one and the same, term unto him, Satyam, the supreme truth, Ananda Nidim, the ocean of bliss, Bhajita, must one worship. Na, never, Anyatra, anything else, Sajit, be attached. Yataha, whereby, Atma Pataha, degradation of oneself. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. One should concentrate his mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who alone distributes himself in so many manifestations, just as ordinary persons create thousands of manifestations in dreams. One must concentrate the mind on him, the only all blissful absolute truth. Otherwise, one will be misled and will cause his own degradation. Purport. In this verse, the process of devotional service is indicated by the great Goswami, Srila Sukadeva. He tries to impress upon us that instead of diverting our attention to several branches of self-realization, we should concentrate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the supreme object of realization, worship, and devotion. Self-realization is as it were, offering a fight for eternal life against the material struggle for existence. And therefore, by the illusory grace of the external energy, the yogi or the devotee is faced with many allurements which can entangle a great fighter again in the bondage of material existence. A yogi can attain miraculous successes in material achievement, such as anima and lagima, by which one can become more minute than the minutest, or lighter than the lightest, or in ordinary sense, one may achieve material benedictions in the shape of wealth and women. But one is warned against such allurements because entanglement again in such illusory pleasure means degradation of the self and further imprisonment in the material world. By this warning, one should follow one's vigilant intelligence only. The Supreme Lord is one, and his expansions are various. He is therefore the super soul of everything. When a man sees anything, he must know that his seeing is secondary and the Lord's seeing is primary. One cannot see anything without the Lord's having first seen it. That is the instruction of the Vedas and the Upanishads. So whatever we see or do, the super soul of all acts of sin or doing is the Lord. This theory of simultaneous oneness and difference between the individual soul and the super soul is propounded by Lord Sri Chaitanya Prabhu as the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. The Virat Rupa, or the gigantic feature of the Supreme Lord, includes everything materially manifested, and therefore the Virat or gigantic feature of the Lord is the super soul of all living and non-living entities. But the Virat Rupa is also the manifestation of Narayana or Vishnu. And going further on and on, one will eventually see that Lord Krishna is the ultimate super soul of everything that be. The conclusion is that one should unhesitatingly become a worshipper of Lord Krishna, or, for that matter, his plenary expansions Narayan, and none else. In the Vedic hymns, it is clearly said that, first of all, Narayan cast a glance over matter, and thus there was creation. Before creation, there was neither Brahma nor Lord Shiva. What to speak of others? Sripad Sankaracharya has definitely accepted this, that Narayan is beyond the material creation, and that all others are within the material creation. The whole material creation, therefore, is one with and different from Narayan simultaneously, and this supports the Achintya Bheda Bheda philosophy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Being an emanation from the glancing potency of Narayan, the whole material creation is not different from him, but because it is the effect of his external energy, Bhairanga Maya, and is aloof from the internal potency, Atma Maya, the whole material creation is different from him at the same time. The example given in this verse very nicely is that of the dreaming man. The dreaming man creates many things in his dream, and thus he himself becomes the entangled seer of the dream and is also affected by the consequences. This material creation is also exactly a dreamlike creation of the Lord, but he, being the transcendental super soul, is neither entangled nor affected by the reactions of such a dreamlike creation. He is always in his transcendental position, but essentially, he is everything and nothing is apart from him. As part of him, one should therefore concentrate on him only, without deviation. Otherwise, one is sure to be overcome by the potencies of the material creation, one after another. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita as follows: Sababhutani kanteya prakitim yanti mamikam kabakshaye punastani kapaldo vijamyaham. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, every material manifestation enters into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I again create. The human life, however, is an opportunity to get out of this repetition of creation and annihilation. It is a means whereby one may escape the Lord's external potency and enter into his internal potency. So this is very, very interesting verse, and this is the conclusion of this chapter. This is a conclusive verse, where Sukade Goswami says, Saba di Britye, Anu Bolta Saba, Atma Yata Swapna Janeksteka, Tam Satyam Ananda Nidim Bajeta, Nanyata Saje Yata Atma Pataha. Translation again. One should concentrate his mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who alone distributes himself in so many manifestations. Just as ordinary persons create thousands of manifestations in dreams, one must concentrate his mind on him, the only all blissful absolute truth. Otherwise, one will be misled and will cause his own degradation. So many important points. Many points are put in this verse. So many, actually a lot of topics are there. As Srila Prabhupada wrote very beautiful long purports to this verse about what should be the object of one's meditation, which means what should one worship? How should one concentrate oneself upon a particular feature of the Lord? So in the beginning, when Parikshit Maharaj had asked, what should a person do? Is about to give up his life, about to die. And Sukadeva Goswami had replied that, yeah, you should hear about the Lord. It's Sukadeva Goswami said, Tasman Bharati Savatma, Bhagavanishwaro Hari, Shrutavya Kritavyascha, Smartavya Chitata Bhayam. That anyone who wants to become free from birth and from fear, Bhaya means there's Bhaya and then there's Abhaya. If I want to become Abhaya or fearless in this material world, what should one do? Should hear about, chant about, and remember. Srotavya, Kititavya, Smartavya, 3 things. Srotan, hear, Kititavya, repeat what you've heard, and then remember. In the BHAGAVATAM, there was the story of Gopal Kumar. So Gopal Kumar, he was a person who was pursuing the path of self-realization. Actually, he was making his progress towards the spiritual world. And as part of his spiritual perfection, he had begun his progress by receiving a mantra from a guru. He received the mantra diksha from the guru, and then by meditating upon that mantra, by chanting the mantra, meditating upon that mantra, so the Supreme Lord had manifested within his heart. And because the Supreme Lord has manifested within his heart, so this devotee, he developed attraction towards the Lord. And then by developing the attraction towards the Lord, he lost all attraction to this material world. Normally in the spiritual life, in the practice of a spiritual life, the more one makes progress in spiritual life, the more detached one becomes from this material world, because both cannot go together. The attachment to the material world cannot go together with attachment to the spiritual world. They don't go together. Just like sometimes we say that if you want to cross a river, and then you put your foot in 2 boats, and you're trying to cross a river, you know that you'll be very, very frustrated trying to cross a river. And so which means basically we cannot, trying to maintain our attachment to this material world, and at the same time, we want to develop attachment to God, to Krishna. It's not possible. One has to give way. One has to choose one. Either you choose the part of, one is called pravritti mark. Pravritti marks the part of materialistic endeavor, that's pravritti mark, or nivritti mark. Nivritti means cessation of material endeavors. And of course, we're not Mayavadi, because in Mayavadi, they want to, the talk of nivritti has been detachment, renounced, but there is no positive there, no positiveness is there. So, which means to become void, that because Mayavadi says that if we're in this material world because of our attachment to the material world, but if you give up the attachment, then and everything become empty, everything become void, and then the goal would be to merge into the void. The goal would be to merge into the voidness, into the impersonal Brahmajyoti. That's the goal. But that is not satisfaction. So that is not something that the Vaishnavas pursue. The Vaishnavas pursue, they develop attachment from the material world, but they develop attachment to God, to Krishna, to the spiritual world, through rendering of devotional service to the Lord. That's the path, that's their path. So this devotee Gopal Kumar, his name was Gopal Kumar, he had developed a firm attachment to the Lord, to Sri Madan Gopal. So when he developed attachment to Madan Gopal, and then he was traveling. First of all, he was traveling this planet, and wherever we go, he maintained his strict attachment to the Lord. Nothing in this material world again attract him anymore. And then sometime as he was going, he was in a palace, he was in a town whereby there was a king there who was a great devotee of the Lord. And this devotee who was traveling, he became automatically attracted to the kingdom, to the palace of the king, because the king have a very gorgeous worship of the Lord, of the deity form of the Lord. So this devotee automatically went there, and then became attached, and then he was residing in a temple. He was staying there just to see how the worship of the Lord is being conducted. And then, so after some time, it's a long story, after some time, the king passed away. So the king passed away, and then they were looking for a replacement, the citizen, the kingmakers, they were looking for a replacement for the king. But the king had no issue. The king had no sons. So as they were looking for a replacement for the king, somehow they got a signal from above that there's this devotee, his name is Gopal Kumar, and this devotee, he should be made the king. They got the order from the above, and then this devotee, he was made to be the king. So he became the king. But when he became the king, what did he do? It's not that he did not become the king and then started enjoying the palace, started having all kind of enjoyment, all the, all the whatever comes along with the kingdom. No. He remained detached as ever. He remained detached. When he was traveling, he was wearing a very simple dress. Very simple dress he was wearing, which means the simple dress of a cowherd boy. So even though when he became the king, he did not change his dress. Was still wearing the same simple dress. After all, as I said, the dress does not make a person. Is what matters is what is internal. So this devotee, he became the king, but when he became the king, what did he do? He simply made all the citizens become devotees of the Lord. He made everyone worship the Lord. He made all the devotees worship everything. And then after some time, then he decided to leave the kingdom, because sometime he saw how sometime when there is Mahaprashadam, been taken out, which has been offered to the Lord. And sometimes the Mahaprasada sometimes is not been given proper treatment. So because of this, he wasn't so happy. So he left the kingdom and he continued his journey. Then he went to Jagannath Puri. There he saw the Lord Jagannath, and then was able to have this relationship with Lord Jagannath. And then he also became a king in the he became a king in Jagannath Puri. He became a king there. And he similarly also he simply expanded the worship of the Lord, all the offerings that made to the Lord, everything was all the best class. So these devotees, so eventually, then he left this earth. He left the earth, keep traveling, same dress, Gopal Kumar. He left the earth and he went to the heavenly planet. So he went to the heavenly planet, the planet of and he saw how Indradev, who was Upendra, Vamandev as his younger brother. And he saw how Indradev was directly worshipping Lord Vaman. And Lord Vaman, he had accepted the position of being the younger brother of Indradev. So anyway, this devotee, so eventually this Indra, he committed some mistake, so he fled from his post, and then this devotee, he became Indra. So he became Indra, but he was still, he's always very attached. Again, he had lost all attachment to the material world. Even though he became an Indra, but he did not afford himself any enjoyment of the heavenly planet. He maintained himself in the simplest of manner as much as possible. So he was there he became Indra, and he was there for thousands of years, and then he went to much higher planet. He went to the higher planet. So I'm supposed to be giving a seminar, a 3-month seminar starting in the next 2 months from now about the BHAGAVATAM, because it's a very vast story. It's a very vast description by Srila Sanatana Goswami, because there's a lot of teachings which actually the science of God. So we're going to be discussing this in the next couple of months when we are giving a seminar on this. So the point I'm arriving at is that when this devotee was traveling, and he was in I think it was in Tapaloka planet. And when he was in this planet, this was the planet of the sages, whereby only the sages live in this planet. And these sages, they are always the way of their method, their method of their worship is to remembering the Lord within their heart through the intense meditation. So they always see the Lord all the time. And their belief is that yes, because material senses are fully the senses can never be dependent upon, like the sense of seeing or the sense of hearing. They have a lot of limitation. But so therefore, if the Lord is seen within the mind, then that becomes much, much effective. So therefore, when Gopal Kumar was in this planet of the sage, so the sages, they instructed him that yes, he should simply meditate upon the Lord, simply meditate upon the form of the Lord, because whereby the concentration is done within, whereby with one's mind, one's fixed, one's attention on the Lord only, and this is superior to any other forms of any other form of spiritual practice. So he was instructed this way, and then so he followed this instruction. And then again, so ultimately, when he was in the planet of Lord Shiva in the spiritual world, and then he was instructed that yes, the process of hearing is actually above the process of just is actually this like the best form of meditation, whereby by hearing through the ears, then all the senses become very activated. Which means by hearing, then the sense of seeing, everything becomes very, very activated just by just by hearing. The mind and all the aids and everything become activated. So the superiority of hearing that is given there. There was one pastimes. One pastime is there that normally Lord Krishna, he has his 8 daily pastimes. This is called Astakalila Smarana. Normally devotees in Vrindavan, those who have made further progress, those who want to go into more intimate aspect of devotional service, they perform their meditation of the Lord by focusing on Lord Krishna's 8 daily pastimes. This is called Astakala Lila. Asta means 8. And this the Lord's, which this begins from 3:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, all the way to midnight. So there are 8 divisions of the day. The first one is called Nishanta Lila. Then from Nishanta Lila, there's Purvana Lila. From Purvana Lila, there's Madhyam Lila. So in this way, there are 8 Lila, which and each of this particular period of the day, the Lord is performing a certain pastimes. One pastime is either waking up from the bed, waking up from the what we call Nikunja, or the Kunj, the grove, where the Lord is performing his nocturnal pastime with Srimati Radharani, waking up and then going to his house early in the morning, and then from there, Lord Krishna will, after bathing, we go and tend to the cows. We'll start making the cows. He'll be making the cows. So there was one time when Srimati a servant or Srimati Radharani, she was narrating of how Krishna was simply, how many servants, how they were taking care of Krishna, how they were bathing Krishna, how they were, so many things, how Krishna was making the different cows. And the cows, they are so much eager to give their milk to Krishna. Normally, the cows, they will normally cows give milk if there is a calf. If there's a calf, then the cows will give milk. Whereas if there's no calf, the cow will not give milk. But the cows of Vrindavan, they have so much affection for Krishna than their calf. They have so much affection for Krishna than the other calf. So when they see Krishna, it's like,
Yeah, Ishara Prabhu. I think his internet kind of froze. So we hope he comes back. Are you back? Okay, we can hear you.
what happened?
I'm not sure what happened.
How many minutes I missed? Was I talking to the void?
We lost you for about a minute.
Okay, so
Not more than a minute.
So as this servant was describing to Srimati Radharani of how this beautiful vision of this beautiful vision, which she had seen describing it to Srimati Radharani, and so what happened is that the ear is hearing, and as the ear is hearing these very beautiful pastimes, then the eye become jealous of the ear. So the eye, because the eye was not there, so become jealous. Oh, what is this that is going on here? So anyway, so this is something that, like hearing, it's actually much more important than any other form of meditation. So therefore, Sukadeva Goswami says, Tashma Bharati Sabatman, Bhagavan Ishwaro Ari, Sutavya, Kiritabhya's chair, Smartavya Chitaba. Again, that yes, you have to hear. Once you hear about the Lord, then when you hear, then chant about him, hear, chant, and then when you do those things, then you can remember constantly. As they say, Sadatan, what is that? Sadatan Vishnu's Smartana Jatatu. That anyway, as the Goswami said that one should always remember that the Krishna consciousness, we have two principles. The first principle to always remember the Lord, and the second principle is to never forget the Lord. So that's the two principles, and the whole the endeavor of Krishna consciousness is based on these two principles only: how to always remember the Lord and how not to always forget him. That's our endeavor. So in this verse, whereby Sukadeva Goswami is telling Parishit Maharaj that there should be a oneness of meditation. There should be a oneness of meditation, because in the earlier on, Sukadeva Goswami, he had described the process of meditation, especially when we are so materially contaminated. When we are so materially contaminated, and our senses are all our senses. So how do we develop spirituality? How do we develop spirituality when we are so materially contaminated? So therefore, the process of worshiping, of meditating on the universal form of the Lord is described. After all, everything that we see in the world, they're all manifestation of the Lord. Nothing is besides him. It mentioned that at the beginning of creation, there was nothing at the beginning of creation. In the Aitareya Upanishad, it was mentioned in the Aitareya Upanishad that Sa imanin lokam asrijata amblo marichi mara mapaha ado amba parina divan dwan pratishta antariksham marichaya prithvi maruya adas tatapaha. So the Lord, when the Lord akshata means the Lord desired to creation in the beginning. So the Lord created all the worlds. He created all the worlds, which means from lowest planet, from Pataraloka, then Rasatala, different planet, then the middle planet, and then the higher planet. So in the beginning, so the Lord created all the worlds, and then he created he also created the upper planetary systems, Tapa, Jana, Mahas, Shagaloka, everything like that he created. Then there's a middle planet, which consists of the heavenly planet, the sun, the moon, the stars. Those are the middle planets. And then, of course, there's a Mara. Mara means the earth. This is like the planet of death. This is where the karma is created. The karma is created in this world only. It's called Mara. So the karma is created here, and then from here because the karma is created, so which means that will determine either you go up or you go down. So which means that's only on this earth planet only. So that's why this planet Earth is also called Matyaloka, or the planet of death. Matyaloka or Mritululoka is the planet of death. So what you do, that will determine either you go up to the higher planet or you go down to the lower planet. So the Lord created everything like this: the higher planet, the middle planet, the earthly planet, then the lower planet. The Lord created all these things. So now, so it's mentioned Actually, there's only short descriptions of the universal form are described in this chapter. In the further chapters, in the later part of the later part of the second canto, we're going to be seeing the more full descriptions of the creation of the universe. After all, the second canto of Bhagavatam and the middle of the first canto, the second canto and the middle of the second or the third canto, the half portion of the third canto is about creation. It's about the creation of the Lord. Because Bhagavatam contains 10 subjects. After Saga Vishagascha, Saga means creation, then Saga and the sub-creation, which is the Atashaga Vishagascha. So there are 10 subjects which begin from creation, sub-creation, and all that. So we're going to be know more about the creation, sub-creation, this whole of second canto, and then the major part of about half part of the third canto. So we're going to know about the full descriptions of the universal form. So because the whole universe is actually it's a body of the Lord. It's a body of the Lord, the whole universe. It's represent the body, as we've read in the previous verses of how the lower planet, they represent the feet of the Lord. The different planets, they are situated in a different bodily forms of the Lord, and also how like the 4 ashrams and the 4 varnas, how they are situated in a particular in the body of the Lord. Like the Brahmanas represent the mouth of the Lord. The Kshatriyas, it's in the arm of the Lord. The Vaishyas, they are in the thighs, and then the Sudras are in the leg. Similarly, also the ashrams, the sannyasis, the mouth, the what's that? The ashram, you have the Brahmins, I just described that. The Brahmins, then the ashram, you have the sannyasi, vanaprasthas, kriyasana, and then the brahmachari. So they all represent, like brahmachari represent the feet, because the brahmachari has to go into the forest and collect the wood for have to collect the wood, for the guru to perform sacrifice. So, and then the grihasthas, when someone get enough training as a brahmachari, and they want to enter the grihastha ashram. Grihastha means how to perform activities. So that represents the thigh, and then of course the vanapras, the chest, and then the sannyasis, the head of the Lord. So anyway, so different ashrams and also different planets, they are described as the representation of the universal form. So therefore, the Sukadeva Goswami is saying that the first part of self-realization is to start meditating on the universal form of the Lord. It's just so that yes, the Lord is everything, that whatever you can see in the world is the Lord. Everything is the Lord. There's nothing beside him. Nothing is besides the Lord. There's nothing we can see in the. If you think that there's something that is not the Lord, that is illusion. We are in illusion if we think that yes, everything is there besides the Lord. So how we can see the Lord in everything? How to see the Lord in everything? Then this is the conception of the universal form of the Lord, and one is recommended to begin one's meditation on this. Now, this kind of meditation, is that the absolute? Is that the ultimate? No, it's not the ultimate. But in the beginning, for one who has not developed enough spiritual maturity, for one who is still a neophyte, who is still struggling with material senses, so the meditation on the universal form is recommended. But however, for one who has become advanced in spiritual discipline, then that's no longer needed. That's no longer needed. And that's exactly what Sukadeva Goswami is pointing out in this verse. That yes, one should concentrate one's mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Vedic scriptures, in the Vedanta, so it said Narayana Paravakta. Narayana Paravakta means Narayana Para, which means Narayana means which Para means he's above everything. He's above this material world. For example, Chaitanya Prabhu is teaching is that it's called Achintya Beda Habeda. Beda means difference, and Abeda means no difference. So Achintya means the Lord is inconceivable, one and different. The Lord is inconceivable, is one with this world, and at the same time is above this world. This is in Achintya Beda Abeda. It is one the same with the Lord, with the world, but at the same time also is also different. Why? Because the Lord is all spiritual. The Lord is eternal, is Satchidananda. He has a Satchidananda form, Satchidananda Vigraha. There's one statement here. The text is said, Satyam Ananda Nidim. Satyam, who is the eternal truth, full of bliss. And then it says, it's a term Satyam Ananda Nidim Bhajata. Bhajata means to worship. Who should we worship? Who should we worship? Who should be our object of meditation? Is that eternal form of the Lord? That should be our meditation. So we can see that Sukadeva Goswami, even though he had said that he said in the beginning, one should be meditating upon the universal form. Now he said that no, don't do this. Because normally the spiritual master can be able to scrutinize the qualification of the disciples. And based on the disciple qualification, the spiritual master will give instructions, accordingly. So which means in the beginning, the spiritual master may give a certain instruction, in the beginning. And then as the disciple make further progress, the spiritual master will say, now, you have to do this. You have to do this. Just like in the beginning of our ISKCON society, Srila Prabhupada first said that, okay, Srila Prabhupada said that if one does not chant 64 rounds, that's considered falling. So therefore, you have to chant 64 rounds. But the Buddha said, Prabhupada, if you chant 60, you're going to take us all day long to chant 64 rounds. The Prabhupada said, okay, 32 rounds. Prabhupada said, stay, devotee said, no, it's too much for us. And the Prabhupada said, okay, 16 rounds, but nothing less than that. You have to chant 16 rounds. So that is the instruction of the spiritual master. So which means one has to follow that instructions and do it correctly. And then, of course, then the further instruction may come as one make further progress in the spiritual life. So therefore, Sukadeva Goswami said that Satyam Ananda Nidim Bhajata, that this form, this supreme form of the Lord, this form should be worshipped. Bhaja means worship. But it means there should be nothing else. Nothing else should one put one attention. So this supreme form of the Lord is being recommended to be worshipped. Now, so which means there is no question of worshiping a universal form. There's no question of that. Because universal form is simply the material representation of the Lord. That's what the universal form is. It's not the Lord's eternal form. It manifests for some time, and after some time, it's why not? Because in the beginning, when Lord Vishnu, Mahavishnu, he lies down on the ocean of milk, and then when it's lied down, and then from his body comes out all the material elements. And then at the end of the manifestation, and all the material elements again go back into his body. So The material form is not eternal form, but eternal form is what we are instructed to be attached to this supreme form of the Lord. Now, when we talk of the form of the Lord, there are many forms. There are many the Lord has many expansions, many manifestations. At the same time, there are all kinds of devotees who are attached to a particular form of the Lord. Basically, one has to have an attachment to a particular form of the Lord, and this form will be one supreme object of worship, will be one supreme Istadev. For example, there are many devotees who are simply devotees of Lord Narayana. Just like we have a Sampradaya called the Sri Sampradaya. To them, the worshipable Lord is Lord Narayana. That's their object of worship. There are some devotees who are very attached to Lord Ramachandra. And that's their supreme object of worship. And of course, we are Gaudiyas, obviously. We are very attached. Our attachment is to Radha and Krishna. Krishna is our object of worship. Now, are we to say, okay, who is better? Who is supreme? Because the Lord has many different forms, and each form has got a certain category of devotees, and those devotees, that form to them is the supreme object of worship. Like Anuma, he said, Srinate, Janakinate, Chabeda, Paramatmane, Mama Pata Savashan, Rama Padmalochane. He said that Srinath, who is Srinath? Srinath means Lord Narayan. He said Srinate or Janakinate. Janakina means Lord Ramachandra, and Srinath means the Lord of Sri, the Lord of Lakshmi. He said that Srinate, Janakinate, the Lord of Ram, no, the Lord of Sita or the Lord of Lakshmi, they are the same person. Chabeda means they are the same person. Paramatma. They are the same person. But me, my attachment, my mind is fixed at the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra. That is my attachment. And nothing can dissuade me from that. So there was one time when Lord Krishna was in Dwarka. So the Lord was in Dwarka, and then he wanted to test devotion of Anuma. Because you have to know, Anuma is Chiranjeev. Anuma is here eternally. He doesn't die. Even though Lord Ramachandra performed his pastime about 3 million years ago, Anuma is still, he was there that time, and he's still there up to today. Anuma is still on this planet today. So Anuma is on the planet today. Actually, when Lord Ram was winding up his pastimes about 3 million years ago in Treta Yuga, so that time, Lord Ram, he was taking everybody with him, all the devotees, including the Sugriva, Angada, and all the residents of Ayodhya. He was taking them, all of them, with him to the spiritual world. And he asked Anuma to come. Anuma said, no, I don't want to come. So they was asking, why you don't want to come? What do you want to do? Anuma said, my dear Lord, I want to be in a place. I want to be in that place where your glories are being sung. I want to be in that place where your glories are being sung in the association of your devotees. So allow me to be there. So therefore, Anuma is always there where there's the Lord's glory is always being chanted. So when one time Lord Krishna told Daruka that you go and call Anuma, tell him that I'm here in Dwarka and I want to see him. So Daruka, he went to Anuma and told him that Lord Ram want to see you. He told him that Lord Krishna want to see you. Lord Krishna is in Dwarka, so he asked you to come to Dwarka. Actually, not Daruka, he told Garuda. Lord Krishna told Garuda to go to where Anuma is. So Garuda told Anuma that, okay, Lord Krishna, I want to see you, and I can carry you to Dwarka. So Anuma said, well, I'm very, very old, because Anuma is more than 3 million years old. I'm very, very old. I'm so tired. I don't think I can come to Dwarka. I'm very, very old, Garuka said, Lord Krishna want to see you. This is the Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord want to see you. You don't want to come? He said, oh, I'm very, very old. I cannot come. I'm too old. I'm too tired. So Garuda went back to Lord Krishna Dwarka and said that, well, Anuma said doesn't want to come because he's too tired. So Lord Krishna said, okay, you go back to him and tell him that Ram want to see you. Or like that Ram want to see him. So Garuda went back to where Anuma is, said that Lord Ram want to see you. Even before Garuda finished his sentence, Anuma jumped up and said, oh, come, let's go. Because Lord Ram is his supreme object of worship. So therefore, he became immediately excited before Garuda finished his sentence. He said, okay, let's go. Let's go in this way. So there's a very important statement. So some devotees of Chaitanya Prabhu, even though Chaitanya Prabhu devotees are generally, they are very attached to Lord Krishna, because that's what Chaitanya Prabhu came to preach, about Krishna's holy name, and everyone should worship Krishna. But there are some devotees who are actually devotees of Lord Ram. Some of them are devotees of Lord Nrsingadev, and some are devotees of Lord Ramachandra. So one time, the Lord told Murari Gupta was a devotee of Lord Ram, even though he's an intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, but he's a devotee of Lord Ram. But Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, he has come to propagate the chanting of Krishna's holy name. So one time, Chaitanya Prabhu told Murari, they said, Murari, I want you to chant Krishna's name. Do Krishna Japa, chant Lord Krishna's name. This is my order to you. So Murari said, okay. He said, okay. So the next morning, Murari, he went to Chaitanya Prabhu and was crying. He said, my dear Lord, allow me to die today. Allow me to die, because you gave me the order to chant Krishna's name. But I tried to chant Krishna's name. I tried still. Lord Ram's name keep coming to me. I tried still. Ram's name keep coming to me. So I find it I'm unable to give up chanting Ram's name. So therefore, because I'm unable to fulfill your order, allow me to give up my body right now. Allow me to give you my body because I'm unable to fulfill your order. So Chaitanya Prabhu, of course, was very, very happy, and then Chaitanya Prabhu, embraced him. And then in Jagannath Puri, when Rupa Goswami, he had gone to be with Chaitanya Prabhu in Puri. And Rupa Goswami, there are three brothers. There's Rupa, Sanatana, and then there's Anupam. Three brothers, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and then there's Anupam. Three brothers. Why Rupa and Sanatana, they are devotees of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, they are devotees of Lord Krishna. But their younger brother, Anupam, he was a devotee of Lord Ramachandra. So both Sanatana, Rupa and Sanatana, they tried very, very much, be the elder brother of Anupam, they tried very, very much to influence him to worship Krishna, to chant Krishna's name. But the Anupam tried, he said, no, I'm unable to give up the worship of Lord Ramachandra. I'm unable to do this. I'm unable to do this. So this was reported to Chaitanya Prabhu in Jagannath Puri. So Chaitanya Prabhu then said one thing. He said, glorious is that servant who does not give up the worship of his master. That glorious is that servant. And glorious is that master who does not abandon his servants. So which means that glorious is the master and glorious is the servant. Both are glorious. So the Lord, so just as the devotee, they will never give up their master. They will never give up their worship of their master. They will never give up. Similarly, the master will never give up his servant. Will never abandon, the master will never abandon his servant. You can see. So you see, that's how we can see the process of love of God. That just as devotees love Krishna, Krishna also loves his devotees. Because love of God is two-way thing, it's two-way, it's not a one-way. Like we are instructed to love God, to develop Krishna prema, love of God, we are instructed. Similarly, also, the Lord also loves us. The Lord says, that as one loved me, I love them back. You know, he said, as one loved me, I love them back. As a matter of fact, the Lord, he loves his devotees so much. He loves his devotees so much that he even follows them, even follows his devotees. He even follows his devotees. To the extent that even sometimes he will say, I want to take the dust of my own devotee on my head. The Lord says that, you can just imagine. So I want to take the dust of my devotees. So the devotee loved the Lord, and the Lord also loved them back. So that's why the attachment that is there between the devotees and the Lord, it cannot even be, it cannot be estimated. The attachment that is there between the Lord, and his devotees. So therefore, Sukadeva Goswami is such a great devotee, such a greatest of all devotees. So he's saying here that yes, you should worship that Supreme Lord, who is the source of everything, who is the source of the universal form. He is all the manifestations coming from him, but at the same time, he's situated in his own enjoyment. So therefore, you should develop your loving attachment to him only. So this is the instruction. This is what is being said, that yes, your attachment to him should be developed. You should develop the attachment. And as we said that, yes, we worship the Lord through chanting we chant his name, we remember him, we sing his name. And of course, we do all these things in the association of the Vaishnavas. So therefore, this verse contains many things, because there's a lot of instruction inside. But this is, I'm just basically talking the gist, the most important of it, which is the concentration on the worship of the Lord. And of course, there's also okay, just like sometimes like a yogi, sometimes a yogi is doing a practice, and through the yogi practice, it develops some materialistic power. Like a yogi become powerful, Mahima, Anima, Lagima, different mystic power. And so it often happens that the yogi will become become attracted by such development of power. And yogi will think himself to become very powerful now. So what happens? Such things will become the source of his degradation, because such thing, by being attracted to such yogi perfections, one becomes distracted from the actual goal of life, which is to develop love of God, which is to develop loving service to God. Or one becomes very rich, like Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. He was explaining in the Madhya Kadambini, one of the scripture, that when a devotee begins to practice devotional service, in the beginning, many things will come. Wealth will come, position will come, recognition will come, kitty, fames, all these things will come. And what happened is that that become the source of one's, it's actually a test, actually, because Maya is actually testing you to see how much are you actually serious about developing a service to God. How you actually serious? So Maya will throw you all these things, give you power, give you wealth, give you so many things. And then what happened? Because you're not really serious about spiritually, you're not really serious about going to the kingdom of God. You rather be the kingdom of, you like to have your own kingdom. You want to be the Lord of all you can serve it. So therefore, what happened? You become enamored about this thing. You become enamored by wealth, by power, by so many, prosperity. You become enamored by it, and then your part of spiritual life is gone. So therefore, they say here, so therefore, proper mention here. By this warning, one should follow. One should be vigilant. Vigilant means one has to be vigilant and all this thing. We should not be enamored with there's something big come to us. Let's not be enamored by it. Do we want followers? No. My Prabhu said, Nadana Najana Sundarin Kavitava Jagadis Kamaye, Mama Germany is very bad about it. He said, my dear Lord, I do not want wealth. Najana, I do not want any follower. Na Sundarim, I do not want any beautiful things like women or anything like that. Or I don't want to be known as some orator, things like that. Sundarim. What do I want? He said, Mama Germany story, Bhavata Bhakti, I took it to you. Simply want to be your servant, birth after birth, after birth, after birth. That should be our goal. And this is what is being taught in Bhagavatam. This is the subject of Bhagavatam. The teachers of Bhagavatam, they are those men who have completely renounced anything about this material world. The speaker of the Bhagavatam and the hearers of the Bhagavatam are those who are they totally renounce anything about the material world. They have nothing to do with the material world. So in the second verse, Bhagavatam said, Dharma Prajitu Kadabhuta Paramonima Shamsatan, Dharma Prajita, which means they give up everything, they give up all kind of senseless desire for, and it has to do with this material world. Nima Saram, no envies, no nothing. So anyway, so this is the point here. The more we try to discuss it, the more we get excited and try to give more and more discussions. So I'm going to stop here. If there's any question or comment, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for the class. Of course, the purport itself was very elaborate, very detailed, and lengthy. And it's beautiful the way you handled it. So, dear devotees, if anyone has a question, comment, realization, you may do so by using the hand emoji or your physical hand to ask your question. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, you were saying in your presentation that, I don't know whether it is a slip of tongue or you meant it the way I heard it, that this Earth planet happens to be the only place where karma is committed.
Yeah.
If that is the case, why? Why this Earth planet? Why the human beings on this planet should be the only beings in this entire material world who is responsible for the actions?
Yeah, because that's the way it's made, because the karma is created here. So with that, you either go up or you go down. So just as you don't, when you go up, which means when you go to heavenly planets, you don't stay there forever, because once the result of your karma is finished, then you come back again to the Earth planet. Similarly, also, when you go to the earliest planet, the lower planet, you don't stay there forever also. When the time of your karma, which is bad karma, is finished, then you come back to this Matya, that's what it's called Mara, Matyaloka. So Matyaloka means the planet of death, which is this planet here, this middle planet, this earth planet. This is the only place where the karma is created. Karma is not created in the heavenly planet, or it's not created in the earthly planet or the lower planets. It's only created here only. So with your good karma, you go up to the higher planet. If you have bad karma, you go down to the lower planets. This is where the karma is created. It's not created anywhere else.
Well, that is interesting. We may not have the time to deliberate on this, but maybe at another time we may discuss that. So if devotees have any question, please, you may do so.
So don't be that I don't know whether you can hear my voice. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu.
All glories to Assembly devotees. Well, it's the same question Tadev asked that I want to get more clarification, because it's actually, I'm hearing that for the first time. And it seems there will be many scriptural texts which may not agree with what you've said, but you may have to throw more light. So when Krishna says Abrahma Bhuvalo Naloka, that from highest planet to the lowest, there are places of repeated birth and death. Yeah. So what sufferings take place? So what is the cause of sufferings and what is the cause of repeated birth and death if it's not karma? And this is happening from the highest planet to the lowest planet. So that is first question. Second question is that, okay, even if it is the hard planet only, so when they get to the lower planets, what happens? They do not make no karma there. Anyway, it's a bit baffling. So you may have to clarify at least that verse where Krishna says from the highest to the lowest planet, there are places of repeated birth and death where, you know.
Yeah, so Brahma Bhuvanadoka, yeah, I understand. Yeah, so because the whole material world, no one lives forever in the material world. No one lives forever there. But because material world is the material world is temporary, so therefore no one live forever in the material world. So in respect to the karma being created on this planet, this actually there in all the Upanishads explains that, all the Puranas, even the Bhagavad Gita, you find that in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita also. Lord Krishna said that when somebody go to the heavenly planets, and then actually no, this you find in the eighth chapter also of the Bhagavad Gita, that when the time when someone's supposed to be in a higher planet, when the period is exhausted, and then that time one will again come down in the form of rain. A person will come down in the form of rain, and then the rain will turn to grains, and then from there be eaten up, and then like that by the humans. So in this way, the creation of either go back and forth. This only happened here. This is where I mentioned here that the creation of the karma, it's possible here. Actually, there was one time there was a story when one brahmachari, who is a spiritual master, I was told him to go and catch firewood because he wanted to perform some sacrifice. So he told him to go and catch firewood, and the disciple went all over the places, could not find any fire. He could not find any wood. So he gone back to this guru, said, "Oh, I could not find any wood today." So the guru became angry, said that you must find the wood. If you have to go to heavenly planet, if you have to go to earliest planet, you must find the wood. So you must go and get the wood. So this disciple, taking the word of his guru, he went to Yamaraj, said that I've come here to the earliest planet to get some wood for my guru, because my guru want to perform some sacrifice. So Yamaraj told him that, asked him that, what makes you think that we have wood here? We don't have wood here. So the brahmachari was surprised. He said, what do you mean you don't have wood here? How do you burn people that comes here? Many people come here. How do you burn them? So Yamaraj replied that here there's no wood here, but people, they come here and they bring the wood with them by which they are burned with it. They bring their own wood with them. So which means people come here, they bring with their own result of their own karma, which is the result of karma. So people are consumed by the result of their own karma in the earliest planet. So just as when a pious person who is pious go to higher up, similarly also a impious person go lower down. And when the result of that finish, then they come back to the earth. So therefore, the earth planet is the only place where the karma is created. There's no other place. It's this middle planet is the middle that determines either you go up or down. This is there in all the Vedic scriptures. This is not concussion. If you study very scrutinizingly, you'll find this in the Vedic scriptures. Especially our Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, it's all explained. It's all explained there. Yes, it's only this planet, this middle planet, that karma is created. So therefore, it's called. There's a word, specific word used in Sanskrit. It's called shraga. Shraga means creation. Shraga means creation. Who is creating this? The divinity is creating. The divinity is creating the karma here in this planet. You don't create karma in the heavenly planet. People there, they are pious. Persons are pious. They don't create karma in the heavenly planet. They simply enjoy the result of their good actions in the heavenly planet. And when that result, and you cannot stay there forever, because once the result is finished, then you come down. You are pushed down again. Just similarly, also you go down to the lower planets according to your bad karma, and once that is finished, again you come back to this planet also. That's the way. That's the way it is. That's the way it's also explained that's also the way it's explained in all the scriptures, in all the Vedic scriptures. It is explained that way only.
Well, Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji, for the answer. So we'll go to Dr. Hassan, please. You may unmute.
Please, can you just please?
Okay, go ahead. Dr. Hassan, hold on for a second, please.
Okay.
Second question. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you. It sounds very convincing. Still, I have some doubts.
Excuse me, it's not convincing to me, though. But
no, let me.
What I want to say is that when you say Earth planet, from the understanding of the cosmos, the Earth planet, it's just like a speck in the universe.
Yeah.
So when you start giving that kind of, maybe not you, but if we get this kind of understanding, then it goes like the same way the Christians think, that everything starts here and finishes here on the Earth planet, not having a bigger picture of the universe. So the bigger picture of the universe, of course, we know there's the higher planet, middle, and lower, but they are also not, when we say Bu Buwaswa, we're not talking of one planet in Bu. It's a whole conglomeration of planets that are on the Bu level. Same thing with Bu and Swa.
When I say,
anyway, this is my understanding. Maybe I don't get it right.
So when I say middle planet, there are islands which are described in the Bhagavatam also. There are islands, there are 7 or 9 islands which are described. Jambudvip, and you have Barafas. So there are 7 islands. So basically, the planetary system, each one is described as a particular island. Just like this island is called Bharadvasa, basically. Vasa means island. So there are 7 of them, 7 or 9 of them which are described. Now, one may be bigger than the other. So all those 7 islands are situated in the middle planetary system. However, some islands are more concentrated than the others. This particular, otherwise, why the Lord incarnate here? Why does he have to incarnate here all the time? Because this is where the sinful, or this is where the karma is very much concentrated. That's why the Lord incarnate here all the time. That's the main reason why the Lord has to incarnate here all the time. And we have not read in any scriptures that the Lord appeared in some other island or some other planet. Or because no, we haven't read that. There are demigods there of the different places, but the Lord incarnate here already. Why the Lord incarnate here? Because to deliver the fallen souls, those who are entrapped in karma, in cycle of karma. That's why the Lord incarnates. Otherwise, the Lord has no reason to incarnate in the material world. So that's something that we have to really take into consideration. And this is whatever I'm saying is all based on a deliberate, analyzing, deliberate study. This is not just some whimsical statement. It's not whimsical statement. This is according to Shastra, according to the deliberation of the, of the higher personality, what has been deliberated upon. The Lord comes here again and again because this is where the karma is created, simple as that. And that's why the Lord comes here again and again. And we have to keep coming. We have to keep coming here. We either go up. When we go up, we cannot stay there forever. We have to come down again here, or we go down. We have to do so. There's no, just like there is no eternal damnation. Just the same time, also you cannot stay in the heaven forever. Also, and that's why the Lord said, "Abrahma bhavana loka punavatino ajuna." It doesn't matter where you go. You're going to everything is a place of death. But it doesn't. But still. Well, because there's a rotation, is a repetition. The constant cycle is there. Now, sometimes you can go to the heavenly planet, and from the heavenly planet, you can go further up. Sometimes, for example, some demigods, after the end of the planetary system, they can go further. They can go to the planet of Brahma. From Brahma, they can go along with Brahma back to the spiritual world. It's possible. But not everyone. Most people, once their rotation is finished, the time of the enjoyment is finished, then they have to come down again to this earth planet. That's what the Lord is talking about in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and also in the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is saying that.
All right. Ishara Prabhu, thank you. We will revisit this particular topic, but we'll go to Bhakta Hassan. Please unmute, Bhakta Hassan.
Okay.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Guru Day. All glory to Papa, and all glory to you. I come a little bit late, but I think I heard something. Maybe I might be wrong. Apart from the Earth be the planet Karma, I also heard that here is only death take only place here. I don't know if I didn't hear you right. So my question is, the demigods, do they die? And because I know that they don't live for eternity. So if they don't commit any sin and they don't live for eternity, why do they die?
Because as a cell, once somebody, according to the accumulation of karma, let's say in this case, good karma, so there is certain number of years that is allocated that a person will stay there in the higher planets. For example, 36,000 years is the time allocation. Is some not all demigods, like for instance, Indradev he lived for 72 kalpas, which means like 72, some 320 million years, some big demigods, because not all demigods are the same. The demigod like Indra or Surya Devs, the sun god, the moon god, they live for millions and millions and billions of years. Okay. But just ordinary person or normal person, like let's say like me and you, based on our accumulation, we are meant to, live like 10,000 celestial years. And 10,000 celestial years, that's like 3.6 million earthly years. So that's the calculation, which means now, when you are going there, the time of you're supposed to be there That's the time. That's the time you have to be there. Once that time is finished, then that time, then you come down. It's not really like a death. It just the body just transform, and then you pass down again down. It's not like a death. Like somebody's going to be crying for you, say, "Oh, he's dead. Let's recriminate him." No, it's not like that. You know, this only happened here only.
Okay.
That one just automatically the body just come down. That's all. Similarly, also if somebody go to the lower planet, also the earliest planet, the person will be there for some time, and then again, I mean, this is also explained in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam also, how someone go to the lower planets, how the person is punished, this and that, and then again, there is and then there is the whereby the bodies become animals, from animal become this, and then before again become the human form again. But that's why this Earth planet is called Mrityu-loka. Mrityu means death. It's called the planet of death. That's what this planet is called. But the other planet, they are not considered as planet. It's just a place where you go and stay for some time, and then you come down. Now, not all demigods are the same. If you become a demigod, then of course you're going to live there for millions and billions of years. If you become a demigod. But if you're not a demigod, you're just a pious person who go to the higher planet, then you're going to stay there for like 10,000 years, and then you come down again. 10,000 celestial years. That's celestial years. You have to understand that, which is 3.6 million of the earthly years. So again, and then when your time is up, you have to come down. You can't stay there forever. Just like you come into America, you come to India, you have 6-month visa, or you have 1-year visa. Once your visa is finished, you have to leave. You cannot stay there forever. The demigod will not allow you. The demigod will not allow you to stay there. You immediately are sent down. Immediately.
All right. Thank you, Prabhu.
Let me finish. When someone is in higher planets, so when the persons come down here, so normally such persons, they take birth in a very highly exalted family, like taking birth in a very aristocratic families, or in a rich families, or this and that. Otherwise, how do you explain a billionaire? You think anybody can just become a billionaire things later? Because such person, they come from the higher planet, so therefore they have the wealth. So that's the way it's just done. So this is the law of karma. How the law of karma is explained in the scriptures. We have the Vedic scriptures analysis of this.
Okay, just a quick one, please. The demigods, do they committed sins, or they are always pious entities?
Demigods don't commit sin; they are pious entities.
Oh, okay.
You become a demigod because of your piety. You're a pious person who have performed so many sacrifices, and then so you become a demigod. Demigods are also technically devotees, but they are materialistic devotees. For example, now you're a devotee, you're performing devotions, but at the same time also you have material desire. So in your next life, you become a demigod in your next life. So demigods are materialistic devotees, so they become demigods. Now, and of course, there are different classes of demigods. Like for example, a person who becomes Lord Brahma, he has such a high position that sometimes difficult to find a really qualified person to have that post of being Brahma, like that. But the most pious person become a demigod. The most pious, you have to be extremely pious to be a demigod.
All right, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
because demigods, they are the Lord's administrative hands. They administer, they govern this material world, and they are helping the Lord to govern this material world. So you have to be really a very pious person to be selected by the Lord to do that. You have to be a very pious person.
Ras Vilas,
Thank you so much.
I know you have your hand up. We will come back to you very soon, okay? His Grace Ishara Prabhu, one thing I want to get across really quick is that we honor and we respect all our speakers. So whoever speaks on this platform, we very highly cherish the individual. That being said, we are all here to listen, to learn. And when someone has the opportunity to speak, does not mean that the audience may not even be aware of what is being spoken. So that is why Srila Prabhupada established this movement in such a way that anytime a person speaks, devotees ask questions. And devotees ask questions just to clear the doubts that they may have in their minds, so that they will be very well situated to perform their devotional service. So when you speak and devotees ask questions, please understand, and to everybody, understand that devotees ask to understand so that they can perform devotional service much better.
So ask your question.
No, no. Okay, so you said that Krishna, this planet, Earth planet, is called Mrityuloka. It's a place of death, and that is why Lord Krishna incarnates here every now and then, and we do not hear him incarnating in other parts of the universe, which is, I don't know where that may be coming from, but that is what Srila Prabhupada tells us. Srila Prabhupada was asked, how long did Krishna live on this earth planet? And Srila Prabhupada's answer was that he lived on this planet for 125 years. Everything is explained in the scriptures. After he lives 125 years here, he moves to another planet. And what's the name? The Pandavas, Mother Kunti, it's not only on this earth planet. Once their drama, once their pastime is finished on this planet, they move on to another planet. We have the Bhagavatam as we read it, because it's mostly pertaining to our earth planet. Occasionally, what goes on other planets are mentioned in our Bhagavatam. But each and every planet have their own Bhagavatam that it talks about how they can go back from wherever they are back home to Godhead.
No. Okay, hold on. So I have to put this way that you got it wrong. Okay. I'll leave with Bhagavatam. Okay. So Krishna, he stays on this planet, which is in this universe, for this particular time, 125 years. Now, it doesn't mean that it stayed. No, in other planets, there are form of the Lord there, which is that's always there, just like in the heavenly planet. Lord Vamandev is always there. That is always there because it's there as the due to the request of Lord Indra. It's always there all the time. Now, when he said the Lord goes, so it's not that he goes to some other planet. No, the Lord goes to other universes, because there are many universes, which is coming out of bodies of Lord Vishnu, and there are millions and millions of them. When the particular lila is finished in this universe, the Lord goes to another universe. In this way, that continuously. So which means that's what we call Nitya Lila, because the Lila is always always going on, and that's the explanation that you will find in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what you will find there. It's not that the Lord lives here and he go to this planet over there and go. No. He lives here, live one planet universe, and then it goes to another universe. That's what happened. Not other way around. And the what else? For example, in Satyaloka, Lord Vishnu is there in Satyaloka. Satyaloka is the highest is the highest planet in the material world, and this planet is actually is above the planet of Lord Brahma. So Lord Vishnu is always there. Understand that and also on every yuga, there's an incarnation of the Lord in every yuga. The Lord comes in every yuga, in just like we have 4 yugas. So in every yuga there's incarnation of the Lord. Just like Chaitanya Prabhu came in for the Kali Yuga, Lord Ram came in Treta Yuga, and the other incarnation is Satya Yuga. So every yuga there's always an incarnation and every yuga. But the specific form of Lord Krishna, this only comes only one day. I mean, only one time, one day of Lord Brahma's, only one day of Lord Brahma that the Lord comes. One day of Lord Brahma, and you have to understand that there's one day of Lord Brahma means 4-point-something billion years. So the Lord comes, which means only one day of Brahma, and after that, when that person is finished, again the Lord goes to another universe. You know, when the Gopal, I was telling the beginning of my class, I was telling the story of Gopal Kumar. When Gopal Kumar was in the spiritual world, and he saw so many personalities, he saw them, they were going to the material world. He saw them, different devotees, they are going to the material world. So he asked Lord Shiva that where are these devotees, where are they going, where are they going? So Lord Shiva explained that where this particular devotee, he's going to the planet of four-headed Brahma. And this particular one, he's going to the planet of eight-headed Brahma. And this one is going to the planet of 16-headed Brahma. So therefore, it's explained this is how these different devotees who actually, they're actually going to preach, whereby saying that, okay, they are going to this particular universe, this is going to this particular universe, this is going to this particular universe. So in this way, just like devotees go to various universes for preaching, similarly also the Lord does the same thing, like the same thing like that. So anyway, you should study the book like a BHAGAVATAM and many other books, which will give a much more elaborate and in-depth explanation. And like me speaking there, I don't see any reason why it should constantly be challenging all the time.
Prabhu, no, that is what I said. We are not challenging, Prabhuji. Don't take it that way, because we are, when it doesn't matter whether it is you or Mr. A or Mrs. B, whoever is speaking, you are, excuse me to say, you are speaking to human beings, and every devotee is intelligent.
No, I'm speaking to you.
Hold on, please. When you're speaking to devotees, every devotee is intelligent. That is one thing we all should accept. No devotee is not intelligent. Every devotee is intelligent. So if we're saying something which is not clearly understood, and that is why Srila Prabhupada set the system that when you speak, devotees ask questions. So if you are taking it that somebody asking question is challenging, then how are you going to help the individual? Nobody is challenging.
So the point is this: just as the question, just like the person who's giving the answer, have to 1 second. The person who's giving the answer have to base answer based on the scriptures. Similarly, also the person who is asking question also have to base it on the scriptures. In all the questions of Arjuna to Krishna and all the questions of Parishit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami, it's all been based off according to the authorities. That according to this, we have heard this. According to this, we have heard this. So therefore, what do you say about this? What do you say about it? And then it's up to the person who's answering to also give the answer based on the authority of the Vedic scriptures, not on the individual, speculation. If
you spoke, you said the scriptures say. Our scripture is very broad. So Srimad Prabhu, when he asked a question, he gave a specific quotation. He gave a quotation, Abrahma Bhuma, that from the highest planet of Lord Brahma to the lowest. So he gave a specific quotation. So all I'm trying to say is that you should not feel that when the devotees ask questions, they are challenging. That should not, it's a very negative spirit.
I don't think it feels so. I don't think it's feeling like this, Prabhu. Sorry. Please let us continue the discussion because I have questions to ask. Important question.
Yeah, okay. So we'll go to Ras Vilas, please unmute. And then
No. I have my hands up. I want to ask a question, please.
Okay.
No problem. Shrimad Prabhu, please go.
Okay, go ahead. Shrimad Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yes, ISVARA Prabhu.
Yeah.
There is a verse in Brahma Samhita.
Mm-hmm.
Yastun Jacopa Matavendra Mahosakarma Banda Nirupa Palapajana Matanoti Karma Niminati into Shabbativa Jambo Vindama Dipurusham
Yeah.
Tamaham Bajami.
Yeah.
So
Very
the
beautiful.
translation says, I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who burns up to their roots all fruitive activities of those who are imbued with devotion and impartially ordains for each the due enjoyment of the fruit of one's activities, of all those who walk in the path of work in accordance with the chain of their previously performed works. No less in the case of the tiny insect that bears the name of Indragopa than in that of Indra, king of the Devas. So that last part mentioned that whether an insect or even Indra, they are all going to be given the opportunity to do what? To reap the result of their activities. That's what is mentioned. So that's one. Now, examples given according to this text from Brahma Samhita. Indra has to come down to the Earth planet based on the course of his guru. And then he came, we heard that story many a time. He came as a hog and he became attached and he forgot, so, and it was based on his activity there because he became puffed up. It was karmic activity that brought him down here. That's one. I don't know whether that story is legitimate or not, but we've had it several times. Second one is the story. I give the second one and then I stop. The second one is the story of the children of Kubera, Nana Kubara and Manigriva. Both of them also, due to simple activity, they were also caused to come to earthly planet. It was based on activity, their karma, which means action that they were performing at that time, that was simple. It was not based on the action they have had previously in the Earth planet. No, it was in the heavenly planet. They were doing some mistakes, which led to their coming down to the earthly planet. So this is what I just want to get clear. You have to explain to us. Brahma Samhita says, whether Indra Gopa, both of them are going to reap the fruit of the activities, which means that there are activities in the level where the demigods are, and they're going to reap the result. And we have two examples, that of Indra himself and that of the two sons of Kubera. Now, please explain, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay.
Prabhu.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful analysis. Yeah, so this is the that everyone in the it doesn't matter Indra Gopa or the Indra himself. Indra Gopa means the ants. That everyone to burn up their karma. The bhakti actually burn up the karma reaction from the root itself. So the now one thing about demigods is like, because when you're a demigod, you have so much enjoyment, enjoyment opportunity, and because of so much enjoyment opportunity that you actually become blind. You become blind because of so much enjoyment opportunity, and Indra becoming arrogant, becoming blind when his guru came, and his guru gave him a garland, and then he threw the garland, and he gave the garland to his elephant, Arabat, and then the elephant threw the garland on the ground, and then so the guru cursed him, or when he actually told his guru to carry him, in this case, Brihaspati. So this is due to the blindness that has come because of so much opulence, and also the situation of Manigriva and also Nala Kuvera, because of so much wealth, so much prosperity that is there. So therefore, when the great sage was coming, the grace and the money was coming, and these men they were bathing naked in the lake, and they did not see that the sage was coming. So they were because of blind, so they became very intoxicated because of blindness, because of the wealth. And that's why when you read the statement of Narada Muni in that particular episode, whereby Narada Muni is talking about the dangers of wealth, how wealth, have so much wealth, makes someone become blind to civilization. So therefore, in order to show mercy to these sons of Kuvera, so therefore he has to turn them into trees. Okay, you go back to the material world and become tree. You can see they did not become tree in the heavenly planet. It's sent to the material world to become tree. And so does when Indra was caused to become a pig in the material world, not in the heavenly planet, but in the material world. So we can see they all come to, not in the material world, they come to the earth planet to become trees or to become pig here, not there. So, and the demigods and demons, there's always rivalry between demigods and demons. Normally, the demigods, they're supposed to be always victorious, always to be victorious in the earth. But sometimes, because of their, they become blind sometimes. After all, they are mixed devotees, they are materialist devotees. So the prosperity make them blind. And because of that, they get overcome, they get overcome by demons, they get defeated by demons. So sometimes the demons become victorious sometimes. And sometimes the demigod become victorious, or sometimes the demons become victorious. And that's why there's always this eternal fight going on between the demons and the demigods. And it's only when the demigods, when they realize they are folly, that's when they start calling upon Vishnu to come and help them out, and the Vishnu come and help them and kill the demons. So in this way, we cannot really call it as the creation of karma. Because technically, as I say again, this is according to the scriptures, that the karma, it's not created in the heavenly planets, but the karma, the mistake is there in the heavenly planet, the person can make due to the enjoying spirit, because there's so much of everything is there. Because one is not a pure devotee is there, one is not a pure devotee in the higher planet. One is now everyone is a pure devotee in the, not pure devotee, everyone is a devotee in the higher planet, but not pure devotees. And because not pure devotees, they get blind by prosperity, by wealth. So therefore, they need to be corrected. So therefore, they become pigs or they become trees and all that, because they need to be protected. So this is the way we have to say it. And we can say, yes, Manigriva, Nalakuvera, they became trees in the in the house of Nanda Maharaj, and they saw the whole of Lord Krishna's pastimes. And they saw the whole Krishna's pastime. So it's not an ordinary thing that they become trees and in the house of Nanda Maharaj, And of course, when Indra became big, Lord Brahma became compassionate upon him, and he came back and take him back to the heavenly planet. So this is the way we have to really look at it. So
okay, Prabhu. Just one last point.
Okay.
First is that that verse, Brahma Samhita verse, makes it known clearly that both Indra and Indra Gopa will get the result of their activities performed, previous activities. So that means that karma is created in the heavenly planet also. That is established in the Brahma Samhita. The second point, that they come only to the heart to come and reap the result, or something like that. Indra his body became filled with vagina as a result of sinful activity. He didn't come here in order to have his body changed. But in the heavenly planet there are other stories of demigods who suffered. I mean, if I have to go into research, I'll produce many more of demigods who suffered the result of their sinful activity right there in the heavenly planet. So anyway, this is just, I'm not trying to drag it as argument, but from scriptural point of view, Indra Gopa and Indra, both of them will reap the result of their activities. That's what Brahma said. Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
Thank you, Shrimad Prabhuji, because Sanika Prabhu, you are muted if you want to speak. But like what you just said, the wife of Brihaspati.
Daddy.
Yeah. We can
Yeah,
hear
please,
you.
before going forward, can you read the purport of that verse quoted by SRIMAD?
Varaha Prabhu, okay. Yeah, we also know that the wife of Brihaspati, Tara, was impregnated by Chandra,
Yeah, indeed.
the higher planets, and he suffered for that. So let's go to where it is referred to. This is Srimad Brahma Samhita, Sri Brahma Samhita 554. So it says, I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who burns up to their roots of all fruitive activities of those who are imbued with the devotion and impartially, excuse me, ordains for each the due enjoyment of the fruits of one's activities. Of all those who walk in the path of work in accordance with the chain of their previously performed works, no less in the case of the tiny insect that bears the name of Indra Gopa than in that of Indra, king of the Devas. Salika, are you there?
Yes, please, can you read the purport? I just wanted to read the purport.
Oh, God impartially induces the fallen souls to act in the way that is consequent on the deeds of their previous births and to enjoy the fruition of their labors. But out of his great mercy to his devotees, he purges out by the fire of ordeal the root of all karma, namely nations and evil desires. Karma, though without beginning, is still perishable. The karma of those who work with the hope of enjoying the fruits of their labors becomes everlasting and endless, and it's never destroyed. The function of sannyas is also a sort of karma befitting an ashram, and is not pleasant to Krishna when it aims at liberation. That is desire for emancipation. They also receive fruition of their karma. And even if it be disinterested, their karma ends in Atma Mamata, that is self-pleasure. But those who are pure devotees always serve Krishna by gratifying his, that is Krishna's senses, forsaking all attempts of karma and jnana, and being free from all desires, save that of serving Krishna. Krishna has fully destroyed the karma, its desires, and the nations of those devotees. It is a great wonder that Krishna, being impartial, is fully partial to his devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, you can ask your
Thank you,
question.
Sadi, for reading that. I think the subject we're discussing is a very interesting one. And maybe devotees will need to go back and read on it a little bit more. When we study the intricacies of karma and not karma, I think, which is the subject matter of discussion, it's an elaborate one, but that purport presupposes that when you look at the beginning of that purport, it presupposes that the living entities go to the heavenly planet to reap the result of their activities from this material earth planet and come back down to this material world. After exhausting that, and then we will see in so many of Srila Prabhupada's purport, same philosophy or explanation is given. So we'll need to look at it. I don't want to drag this up because we already see, and Shivara Prabhu is going to be going to bed.
Yeah.
It's late
And
hours.
I'll be Mangalore tomorrow morning.
So,
I'm leaving Mangalore tomorrow morning.
So I don't want to drag this for so long, but let us read that purport individually again.
All right.
What you're saying there.
All
then
right.
we'll come back to this subject.
We'll discuss that.
I have some things to share.
Let's go to Ras Vilas. Ras Vilas, please unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I think my question is somehow related to the various one that have been asked. Same topic. Mine have got to do with stories that we read from Ekadashi Lilas.
Yeah.
Where we see maybe Gandavas performing before Indra, they will do something, they are cast to their paternal locals to come and suffer for their kids. Shall we say that even in the higher planets, the actions that they perform there are karma actions? Because for you to suffer the curse of maybe Shiva or maybe Lord Indra curses to come to the paternal locals to come and suffer, it means you perform an action that is coming with a karmic reaction. So the question I've been revolved, I think my question is similar to the same thing, but with the answer that I've been given by ISVARA Prabhu, which answers my satisfaction. So I'm okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So we go to Krishna Prabhu, please unmute.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, my humble obeisances. Kusha here.
King Kusha.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Me, talking about pure devotees, I just want to ask, because I see myself as a great pure devotee. So I want to ask based on my own situation. In a family of where I am the only devotee, am I not a pure devotee? So I believe that pure devotee is grade by grade. I don't want to hear about the demigod. I want to talk about my own situation. Practically, am I not a pure devotee?
So you're a pure devotee to the extent you're serving Krishna.
Of course. That's all I want to
This is
To the extent you are serving your pure devotees, to that extent.
wow.
You know, just another point. Of course, I don't want us to dwell so much on this subject of karma, like because karma is also synonymous with ignorance. Why we perform karma? Because of ignorance. But and the thing is that in the higher planet, there's no ignorance in the higher planets. And the problem that the demigods they run into in the higher planet is because as I said, because so much prosperity there, there's no suffering there. There's just bliss, there's just enjoyment. And that enjoyment sometimes makes you intoxicated. And that's why the demigod they get into trouble. And they decide offending this rishi, that particular rishi, you know, and then they get into trouble, and then they get cursed. They get either in the form of either they are being defeated by the demons, or sometimes, you know, they have to come down to this planet and reap the fruits of their karma, reap the fruit of their mistake. Again, of course, they immediately get rectified. But their situation is not the same as a normal conditioned soul here. Because the conditioned soul here there's a transmigration process. You go to a planet, you stay there for some time, and then you have to come down. So the situation of the demigod is not the same as the situation of just any other living entity who just go to the higher planet. And as I said, the demigods, to be a demigod, you have to be a very, very pious person to be a demigod. Because the demigods, they are the administrative hand of the Lord. So not any living entity can just be put in that position. So when they come in a mistake, they get punished, but they immediately get rectified. So therefore, according to but that mistake they commit, it's not, we cannot call it karma. It's just commit mistake, that's all. And then they get rectified. But it's not the same as karma. The karma itself is the work of karma is very, very intricate. It's very, very intricate, the work of karma. And this has been very, very rigorously analyzed in so many, many Vedic scriptures. Even Lord Krishna said this also in the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. He said the work of karma is very, very intricate, very, very intricate to understand the work of karma. Okay.
And then maybe we'll bring this to a close. Unmute Kavi.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. I just want to appreciate the little I heard from His Grace Ishwara Prabhu. I was just enjoying it. And now he has buttressed the point he was saying before regarding that there is no karma in heavenly planet, which I totally agree also. Out of position, they become puffed up, then they get some immediate chastisement, which, they get back their position. So I'm impressed. Only, like it's mentioned also, only in this Bhumi, that is where there is karma. it is mentioned, is called karma booming. You go to heaven, enjoyment. You go to hell, you suffer. Only in earth, you have the mixture of both. You can enjoy or suffer here. But it's also, as you are enjoying, you are creating karma because it's a karma booming. So hellish planet is a place of rectification, is suffering. So whatever enjoyment you are getting there, you are still suffering. And hellish planet, heavenly planet is a place of enjoyment where you exhaust your karma. Once it's finished, you fall down here. So just to say, I appreciate Prabhu's answer. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Yeah.
All right, Hare Krishna, thank you so much.
Before you let Prabhu go, I want to read the translation to Bhagavad Gita 8:16, because that verse it does not is in contrast to what Prabhu is saying.
8.
The verse is 8:16. Abrahma Bhuvana Loka.
Yeah.
That verse says that from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery. All are places of misery. That is what Krishna says. So to say that there's no suffering there, that is just enjoyment all through, the scripture doesn't say that. Krishna didn't say that. Krishna says they are all places of misery, and misery is represented by repeated birth, death, and death. So I just want to say that the scripture does not agree with the point that it's a place of enjoyment only. It's a place of misery, like anywhere else. That's what Krishna says. So I want to correct that.
When your time is up in the heavenly planet, then you come down. When your time is up.
No, yes, I'm talking about there. It's a place of misery. It's a place of misery there.
But the mystery there is quantified by death. It's not that the kind of mystery whereby you have 90% of people who are suffering.
All right, Hare Krishna.
It's not the same.
It's an interesting subject matter.
We thank you for
the class. I'm appealing that we keep this subject matter.
Salika, give me a minute, please. Dear devotees, we are bringing this class to a close. And we want to formally, as we always do, appreciate our speaker, because it's really late his time, but he's still been here with us. Ishara Prabhu, we thank you very much. Now, to those who are listening now, live here, and who may be listening to this tape later on, the topic of karma simply means we reap what we sow. Action and a reaction only takes place on this earth planet, consisting of these 5 continents alone is yet to be deliberated. So whoever is listening to this should not take it as sins or actions committed on this earth planet gives you reactions. Whatever else you do anywhere else in the rest of the planets within this universe, you do not incur any reaction. We are not saying that here because some of us are not in agreement with that. And some agree to the fact that it is only on this earth planet that karma is created. But we want to tell you all, watchers, listeners, whenever you watch this, that this is not been resolved. We will discuss this at another time. So we thank you all. And at this point, we're going to hand the request to all the devotees to kindly unmute. And we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to our speaker, His Grace, Ishara Prabhu. In fact, before we do that, I almost forgot. Today is the appearance day of Her Grace Narayani Devi, who is here with us today. So we also want to wish her a very happy appearance day. Narayani Devi, who is here with me in the USA. Narayani, so Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So While we chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we also singing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for Her Grace Narayani's appearance day. So we'll be all
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Namo Namaha.
All glories to His grace.